There's a rumor that a special announcement is coming once again tomorrow on Raw. And the rumor announcement is that NXT is going to be moved to the USA Network.
Just hope not.
On Wednesdays to combat with AEW. Head on. And instead of FS1.
I don't think they need to. Oh my gosh.
That's big. That's big news that I don't agree with. First of all, I do agree with half of it, and the half of it is I don't mind NXT being 2 hours. And the reason why I say, I mean, do I enjoy it as an hour? Of course, but the reason why I said it is because NXT is loaded. I mean, loaded.
Yeah, that
with
1
talent.
hour, it'd be like a lot of stuff in that 1 hour.
It do, but but also. There'd be some, great matches, but stuff. They don't have to draw out 2 hours. But I'm just saying, because I like SmackDown's just enough time for me. But this gives the time for people that are on NXT instead of getting like 1 or 2 weeks or 3 weeks before we see them again. They can get more time, such as your Keith Lees, your Bianca Belairs, your Kona Reeves, your
No, you did just give Kona Reeves a shout out.
I did give Kona. I'm sorry. I gave Kona Reeves a shout out, and then, Punishment Martinez.
Okay.
I'm just saying, but that's what NXT's for, is to help build them up. So if they want to give them 2 hours, I'm not mad at that. But to put them on USA, oh my goodness, you know what that means?
I don't think they're going live.
It doesn't matter. There are rules to USA. You know that.
Yeah.
There is rules to having network television, especially on a network like USA, where USA demands the McMahons. That's why you see the McMahons damn near every week on Raw. They demand that shit. And I mean,
Triple H is a McMahon. Triple H introduced the show every week.
But after a while, we're going to probably get tired of seeing that shit. And after a while, how much NXT do you think we can really get on USA?
My only problem is if they do that every 2 hours and all that, they're gonna burn out quick. As far as like creative and stuff, because you see how now they do like a solid 5 or 6 shows in one night, and it's all hour long, and they just got time to plan.
Uh-huh.
So they got all that time to just plan and think of stuff, how this is gonna go, how that's gonna go. Now they do it every week, and they do it kind of like frequently or live. That's kind of like burn them out a little bit because they won't be used to it.
I do agree with you. I mean, of course, they will pick NXT to be the ones to go head to head with AEW.
Now that is a good idea though, because that's their best wrestling show.
That is their best wrestling show. I agree with you on that one. But if it won't be your best wrestling show, you know what? Let's be fair, because there are going to have to be some rules and limitations that AEW is going to have to follow on TNT.
Mm-hmm.
So it ain't like they're going to just be balls to the wall indie style wrestling and do whatever the fuck they want. There is going to be storylines. There's going to be silly moments. It's wrestling. That's what it's going to be. It's not going to be, a thumbtack spot every single night because it's on TNT. And TNT is one of the biggest, networks there is out there.
Mm-hmm.
And so, AEW is not going to be able to be free reign just like they think everybody thinks it's going to be. So there may be some even stuff to it. I just don't want Vince putting his hands on NXT. Because I'm hoping with this XFL coming up early 2020, which we still haven't heard shit from yet. With that coming up, I'm just hoping that maybe that Vince will be too busy, and then Triple H will have to run that stuff. But then it's like, can certain things that have been said, or is it still going to be taking place in the Impact Center? I mean, in the I'm about to say the Impact Center. Full Sail, yeah.
I have no idea. I heard rumors that they either could tour or they could stay in that same place. I don't know yet.
I don't know if touring will be good for them though. I mean, if they want to make the main roster, they're going to have the tour.
I mean, they do tour, so I don't know if they just take the shows that they already toured to and just put cameras there, you know. But I don't know how that's going to work out. I don't know. We'll see what happens when it happens.
I don't want it to be live, neither.
I don't want to think too much into it because it's hurt my feelings that they doing this to NXT. But you know,
because honestly, I look at it as the opposite. I look at WWE trying to do direct competition. First of all, to be honest, NXT was already coming on Wednesdays for the past years. Mm-hmm. So AEW coming on Wednesday, it is kind of like almost a direct thing. But everybody's thinking like, hey, I could watch the network. I can watch AEW because it's going to be live, and I can go back to NXT whenever I want to because it's on the network. And I mean, when you take that liberty away from me, I kind of rebel against it.
Okay.
I like because it's hard for me right now. Just Wednesdays at 8:00. It's just hard for me right now to go and be like, oh, time for me to go turn on NXT. I'm like, I missed it. I'll just go back and watch the show whenever when I get to it. So it'd be like midnight sometimes, especially with me having a new baby. It's like it could be like midnight or 1:00 in the morning. I'm like, all right, I'll pop on NXT, and then I just begin so succumb in either my ESPN Plus 30 for 30s or I either watch something else on W Network. Like I was up all night yesterday watching the WWE Untold.
Okay.
I like that show. And I was like, but NXT was like almost an afterthought. I actually like watching all the other content they had than some of the NXT shows. So I'm just like, I mean, but maybe also since I know Raw's at 8 on Mondays and I know SmackDown is at 8 on Tuesdays and I know AEW is going to be at 8 on Wednesdays, it's like maybe it would bring back an old feeling like it was back in the mid 90s of turning to Nitro and turning to Raw.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think you can get that same satisfaction out of that or no?
I think they can. They just if everything works how they want it to work and they do it right, it can be just like that. Just like the hard decision of which show to watch or when to click doing commercial and stuff like that. Well, I think it'll be fun.
I would say this: the loyal WWE NXT fans are going to turn to NXT, but the majority of wrestling fans, because of curiosity, that first show is going to AEW.
Yeah, they're gonna click back and forth like after the first show or during the second, third, they're gonna click back and forth. But that first show, all attention is on AEW.
All attention on AEW, and depending on how AEW leaves us off or what we're liking, because honestly, there are times where NXT can be kind of boring. And if we get like the same show or we get something like, okay, well, at least if we miss this one, it'll update and eventually be on the network. That can be the attitude also.
Yeah, I know. AEW first show they gonna throw it all out there.
Oh yeah,
or throw a lot out there so they can get people coming back. Like that first initial show, they want everything. So
because they're not just going up against NXT, you're going up against Raw and SmackDown.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, it scares me. I'm curious to, I wonder what everybody else would think about it, but like I said, it scares me. I was kind of cool with them saying it'll be on FS1, and I'm like, that's a fine little channel. I watch Skip and Shannon on there, so I'm like, why not put it on there? But